She's out on anybody, particularly a youngster as well. Let's just hope he gets better soon.
Yeah, we'll all endorse those sentiments. Now then, two goalkeepers, one playing, one retired many years ago, but we did have sympathy for Mike Salmon tonight, because we know how we tread this goalkeeping tightrope, don't we, of having great saves that can finish the other way a moment or two later.
That's right, yeah. Bit of a bad bounce there, but he just reacts brilliantly there. Nice strong hand and managed to turn it away.
And in that moment of elation, it's followed by a corner kick, and what happens, Ian?
Yeah, well, this is the most disappointing thing, when you know you've made a great save and the resulting corner ends up in the back of the net. Again, nothing really you can do with that. Good header.
Yeah, Mark Wright's header there. He did well, actually, Mike Salmon, didn't he? He kept them in the game really early on.
He made some good saves right the way through the game, so yeah, like I say, he'd be disappointed to let in 4 goals and made some good saves.
Liverpool obviously were too strong, but there was one really memorable night for Alan Kirbysh, one memorable moment for Alan Kirbishley's side, and probably the goal of the night from Sean Newton.
Yeah, I think so. The technique here, it's a good ball in from there. Just gets a flick on, and that's a great technique. And
it's keeping it down on something like that, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. And Jamesy there, absolutely no chance.
Yeah.
Flew in.
Liverpool, do you see them not just in cup competitions? Do you see them being one of the big threats for the Premiership?
Yeah, they're very strong. They've got great quality throughout the squad, and you know, they just need to keep on a good run, and I'm sure they'll be there in all competitions. And
they play against Arsenal in the next round at Anfield. How do you see that?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like I say, they both play good attacking football. Whether Arsenal
That's good, you know, coming from a Tottenham man. Arsenal playing good attacking football. That's good.
Yeah, well,
I'll frame that.
Yeah, but I don't know whether they'll do that when they go there. They probably won't.
You'll have a problem living that down tomorrow on the training ground, you know.
That'll be all right. Yeah, so I think they'll go there and they'll try and soak up a bit of pressure and then try and hit them on the break, but it'll be a very interesting game.
It certainly will. It'll be a terrific game, I'm sure. Let's hear exactly what the two managers think about that tie.
Well, I think they're all big ties. I mean, you've got to beat everybody to get to the next round, and Arsenal obviously we've had great cup ties over the years against them, and we look forward to that. But it's now back to the league programme, and we've got 3 big games in a week.
Liverpool at Anfield, it is maybe not the tie you would have chosen.
No, but we have a very difficult month, but I think also we have a strong spirit, we have a strong motivation, and we just go from game to game in trying to improve our collective game and in trying to improve individually.
Both managers playing it down, but we really can't wait. Well, coming up next, Wimbledon's success at Luton last night, plus this evening's replay between Coventry and Gillingham at Highfield Road. That's after this short break. Hello again. Still to come, tonight's replay at Highfield Road between Coventry City and Gillingham, but that's after last night's 2 replays, beginning with Luton versus Wimbledon, commentary from Tony Jones.
Luton have a free kick and they've been working hard on their set pieces. Launched in towards Mitchell Thomas, and that's an own goal. Luton Town in front after 27 minutes. And it was an own goal put in by Dean Blackwell. Everybody forward now for Wimbledon, including their goalkeeper Neil Sullivan. Sullivan, was he first to the ball? There's an opportunity now at the far post for Blackwell, and it's an opportunity which has been denied him by Steve Davis. Davis, who's been exceptional at the back for Luton. Sullivan has still stayed forward. Harford with a header, and they've got an equaliser. Right at the very death. 2 minutes into injury time, and Wimbledon have drawn level. And the goal scorer is Stuart Castledine. Cunningham. Ardley with Koku. Ardley's away this time. Kimball at the back post. And cleared by Davis. Fair now. That will do for Wimbledon. Peter Fair puts Wimbledon 2-1 up. 8 minutes into extra time.
We had them pinned in our own half the entire second half, and I started looking at my watch and thinking, well, it's not to be. And then totally just at the right time, really. If ever we needed one, it came at the right time for us, and Castle team took it exceptionally well. But I'd have to say, once we did get that, I always felt then we were looking the stronger and that we would go on and win it.
Well, you did say earlier in the year, didn't you, that your best hope maybe of Europe this year would be to win the Coca-Cola Cup?
Yeah, I think so. Our dreams and ambitions are no different from anybody else's. Our players believe that they've got the capabilities to get themselves to Wembley, and until somebody else proves otherwise, we'll carry on believing that.
Southampton had a very nasty shock at Lincoln when John Beck's third division side took a 9th-minute lead with this goal from Gareth Ainsworth. Lincoln held the lead until 15 minutes from time, and the faithful at Sinsel-Bank must have been getting excited. But then Southampton's Egil Ostenstad threw himself to the ground, and remarkably Southampton rewarded a penalty. Lucky Southampton, unlucky Lincoln. Jim Magilton did the necessary. Lincoln put out Manchester City in the second round and then held the Saints to a draw at the Dell. But they tied in the later stages last night, and substitute Gordon Watson put Southampton in front after 84 minutes. Lincoln had plenty of men back defending, but they could only stand and watch as Armstrong buried it from close range. And just to add insult to injury, Southampton scored again just before the final whistle. Ayel Berkovic was given time, space, and with the help of a deflection, the young Israeli made it Lincoln 1, Southampton 3.
Mike Liggins reporting there on Lincoln, Southampton. But Ian, Wimbledon, they go marching on.
Yeah,
Just.
That's right. They're on a roll, aren't they, at the moment? Again, just shows their never say die attitude, really.
2 minutes into injury time, wasn't it? I mean, they looked to be gone at that time. Poor Lenny Lawrence and his side.
Yeah, that's right. Unbelievable. And you know, but that's what I say. They've threw bodies in there and made something out of nothing, really, and gone on to win it.
Yeah, the habit of winning. They've really picked that up, haven't they? Joe Kinnear was really talking about that as well.
Yeah, well, it's always a good one to have. So I'm sure they'll want to carry it on.
Quite a tie for them, though, in the next round, because they come up against the holders, Aston Villa.
Yeah, that'll be a tough one for them, but I'm sure with the confidence they've got now, they won't mind who they're going to play. They think they're going to win all the time. So, you know, I'm sure they'll go into that looking forward to it, and obviously going to try and get through to the next round. Not
many people give them really the credit they're due. You know that, I know that, but they have outstanding players there as well. I mean, I think Robbie Earle's an outstanding player, really. Yeah, and especially this year, I think it's been highlighted a bit more. You know, he's getting a bit more recognition, and you know, I'm sure they'd keep plugging away, and you know, more of their players will start getting a bit more recognition, and we'll see how they go. I'm sure they will. Yeah, well done to Wimbledon again. One replay left, and Gillingham were pleased with themselves that they'd snatched a second chance against Coventry after being 2 goals behind. Gordon Strachan is at the helm of the Premiership side for the first time, with Ron Atkinson having taken up a new role at Highfield Road. Strachan makes one change. Ian Jess coming in for Dion Dublin, who's on the bench. Gillingham includes Simon Ratcliffe and Ife Onaura, who scored the late goals at the Priestfield Stadium in the first match. Your commentators are Jimmy Greaves and Peter Brackley. We join the action in the second half.
Now, Coventry on the break with Ian Jess. Richardson trying to maintain the momentum. Off goes Borrows. And McAllister. Stannard down well.
Yes, I think this came as a surprise a little bit to McAllister, and he didn't get his full weight behind it.
Ratcliffe to Butler. There's support arriving through the middle too. Still Butler. Couldn't quite to see Williams. Bounce Ratcliffe. It was a chance. It was a shooting opportunity.
It was a chance. and Butler is creating mayhem out there at the moment.
Richardson. Laid off neatly then to McAllister. Coventry in full flow here. McAllister going all the way through. At least he might have done. Gillingham claiming handball. Quite rightly, the referee says that's a foul. McAllister trying to take it quickly. Roger Dilk still wants the wall further back. McAllister, the master of the set piece. Not this time, but it was agonisingly close. Relief for him.
This was close, wasn't it? I don't think Stannard would have got to that one.
Bailey holding off Borrows. This is Butler. Beyond Dacian goes Onura, and it'll fall for Smith. Well, Coventry can't complain they weren't warned. They've come close to scoring on quite a few occasions tonight, and now they have managed to go. Neil Smith to finish off the move.
And it's a super goal. That man Butler again finding great space. Lackadaisical approach by the defence. Smith nips in, brilliantly taken. This is all about awareness by the Gillingham players rather than the Coventry players.
Tyler in the way. Then Ratcliffe. We're in possession, says Roger Dilks. Get on with it. Butler now, trying to do exactly that. Defenders having to scurry back. Onura. He's got Bailey now. He might finish it here. Dennis Bailey! Coventry survive, but only just. Armstrong. Bailey. Onura! Just couldn't guide it in. But a double escape then for Coventry. And quite remarkably so. But then they've got 11 heroes out there, Gillingham.
Oh, they've played superb. They deserve to win. Nobody can say they don't deserve this result. They do.
But maybe it's not over yet. This is Noel Whelan. Hasn't Tower in with the tackle. And it's all over. A fabulous result for Gillingham on a humiliating night for Coventry. Stannard, the goalkeeper, celebrates with the other hero, Neil Smith, the man whose goal won them a place in the fourth round for the first time in over 30 years. Coventry were very, very poor, it has to be said, but all credit to Gillingham for the way they set about their task. Well, Coventry have been the hot favourites tonight, but it's Gillingham who have come through thanks to the goal from this man, Neil Smith. Gillingham the winners by a goal to nil.
I've got talented players, but your talent's no use if you don't apply that with application, hard work, sometimes just playing from your heart, which Gillingham did tonight with no lack of skill. If it comes to sheer ability, they had no right to win the game. So it tells you a bit about our players.
Well, Ian, Gordon Strachan's always going to remember his first game in charge as a manager, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure he's very disappointed, but you know, he's got a big job to turn it round, and I'm sure he'll be working on that straight away.
He said that Gillingham really wanted it far more than Coventry.
Yeah, I think they did. They went there with the right attitude and applied themselves really well, and they got the result.
Well, we thought we did think we might get one shock out of our 3 replays tonight, but not from the side that are 17th in Division 2.
Yeah, well, that just shows that it can happen anywhere down the line, and you just got to get your attitude right and take every game as seriously as you can.
Now, the hero is a man called Neil Smith, and it's a good job we got you in because you know all about him. Tell us about him.
Yeah, well, he's in the youth team and the reserve side at Tottenham. He's a lovely lad. He's a great character, really bubbly. Don't think he scores that many goals.
Tucks it away nicely, doesn't he?
Yeah, But he certainly knows how to celebrate as well. But
was he in the FA youth side with you? That side?
He was, yeah. But unfortunately, it didn't work out for him at Tottenham. But you know, I'm really glad for him today.
Yeah, £40,000 I think was the transfer.
Yeah.
5 years ago now. Does it seem? Yeah.
Well, so I'm sure he'll tell you it was a snip.
Yeah.
40,000, but yeah, I mean, seems.
But he was behind, wasn't he? People like Gascoigne, Naeem, Paul Stewart.
Yeah, well, that's right. He had so many players in front of him, and it was his decision to go somewhere else.
Okay, thanks. Well, let me show you how the complete fourth round draw now looks. There it is: Liverpool versus Arsenal, West Ham versus Stockport, Ipswich against Gillingham, Bolton versus Spurs, Middlesbrough versus Newcastle, Wimbledon versus Aston Villa, another big tie, Oxford versus Southampton, and Leicester City against Manchester United. Now, Ian, we've got 4 local teams in there, 5 actually if you count Gillingham. I think we're going to claim them tonight actually. You mentioned Arsenal at Liverpool, which is obviously a tough one there. Tell us about your own tie at Bolton, how you feel that will work out.
It's going to be a very tough game. We're quite good away from home. Form's been quite good, but in saying that, Bolton's home form's been a bit special. So you know, we'll have to go there, like I said, with the right attitude and mean the business there.
We mentioned Wimbledon as well against the holders, but West Ham, Harry Redknapp's side against Stockport. You would expect maybe that they should get through on that one.
Yeah, you'd think so, but you know, looking at Gillingham tonight, you never know. So yeah, like I said again, have to take it very seriously, and you know, they should get through that one.
Yeah, Gillingham, who you just mentioned there, their reward away to Ipswich. It could have been, I guess, a little kinder for them.
Yeah, I suppose so. But like I said, they'll play that game and think, well, anything can happen now. So they're just going to go for it and see what happens.
Let's just move away from tonight's ties in. Talking about yourself, you're very much established now in this England squad, and it's a squad that's picked up from Euro '96 with the same camaraderie. 9 points out of 9 at the beginning of a qualifying campaign. Yeah,
dream start really. Lads have applied themselves really well. You know, it's tough going out to places like Moldova and Georgia, but they've come back with maximum points, and it all adds up now to a big game against Italy. What about Glenn himself, Glenn Hoddle, in management? I mean, it was a hard act to follow, Terry Venables, but he's his own man, isn't he? Yeah, he is, definitely. You know, training's really enjoyable, and you know, he's gradually stamped his own authority on the squad. Italy it is, of course, who is the next tie, and that is a big test. I mean, I say that, Georgia, and that was a big enough test at the weekend. Yeah, that's right. You know, Italy haven't been doing so well themselves, so you know, we'll have to play them and just hope that everything goes right. And I'm sure with the maximum points we've got already, it's going to give us a lot of confidence. It could be Saki's gone by that time, Ian. That's right. Yeah. Thanks very much for being with us. Good to see you. Cheers. Well, there were 3 matches played in the Nationwide League First Division tonight. Here they are: Birmingham City 3, Bolton Wanderers 1. Bolton finished with just 9 men, but are still 4 points clear at the top, ahead of Crystal Palace. Manchester City 2, Oxford United 3, and West Bromwich Albion 1, Sheffield United 2. United move up to 5th. And the First Division is in the spotlight next Monday night as Gabriel Clark reviews all of the weekend's action. Then on Wednesday, join me at Old Trafford for the titanic battle between Manchester United and Juventus, the Premiership title holders against the European champions. Our live coverage begins at 7:20, and remember, that's only on ITV. And in 2 weeks' time, we're back on Carlton Sport with the 4th round of the Coca-Cola Cup. 8 matches, including Liverpool versus Arsenal and Bolton versus Spurs, will all be featured in a great night of cup football. It was pretty eventful this evening, and it was certainly a very good night to be playing in red. From all of us, bye-bye.